Breaking news from Madam Savvy. She says GARM shut down the moment Elon Musk sued them for antitrust reasons. Here is the Australian e-safety commissioner paid nearly $500,000 who was actively working to censor Donald Trump on their behalf. She was working to sideline free speech. Why? We've learned why. To control narratives and maintain power. These are the people pushing age verification laws that rely on the work of collective shout because Melinda found herself on a shareholder position of the age verification trial that will be used to shape the law. Again, Australia, shareholder age verification trial. And they target so much like video games that they don't like GTA, Detroit Become Human, yet they champion real child exploitation like Cuties. It is all connected, whether a web or a ladder. This has been a plot in the making for a long time globally. Why is an Australian e-safety commissioner concerned about another country's politics? How does this person have connections to GARM? Who else is this person working with in the government? 2016 was a wild year. No one expected Trump to be president, so they had to install people all over the world to fight the shift in knowledge that started then and has only grown. See, it isn't culture that has shifted. It is just reclaiming common sense. And we are now all hyper connected. They can't hide the truth no matter how hard they try. This is massive news, and I can't wait to dive into the details. This is the Sky News story that I have up that I'm going to go into. This is the whole story here. This is Wall Street Journal. Elon Musk's ex sued a nonprofit advertising initiative. It shut down days later. The World Federation of Advertisers said it is discontinuing the activities of GARM it initiates to protect brands from unsafe content, which that story I actually recall, I think it was like a year ago, that was like a really big thing. Kind of came and went. It was very strange. It was a group of people who was deciding what advertisements were okay and what weren't. It's very, very strange. Savvy just added, small update. She's American. And Fossey mentioned. What? And this is from when it happened in 2024. Advertisers shouldn't to impact what goes on a platform. This is my primary issue with the potential impending adpocalypse on Twitch. Advertisers have too much unethical power. This is why GARM folded at the first threat of a lawsuit from Elon Musk. Advertisers are also why apps are listed the way they are on stores. There is no reason for Etsy, Amazon, or any shop app to be marketed as 12 plus. X is rated 17 plus, at least, but Twitch is marketed as 12 plus. Anyways, they'll always come crawling back because products not necessary in life need to aggressively advertise for whatever reason. You never need a commercial to tell you to buy chicken or steak. But God forbid we weren't reminded of some Disney slop coming out. And this is linking the entire lawsuit situation with the X that was being boycotted, which I don't know if you guys, I'm not going to dive into that whole story, but that was a situation way back then that I covered back then when it happened as well. But this is quote tweeting the Sky News Australia story. And this is a massive story. Massive story. Leaked emails reveal e-safety commissioner Julie Inman Grant was leaked to a censorship plot. I think they mean linked to a censorship plot to sideline President Donald Trump while working in the Albanese government, which there's a special place in hell for some of these evil people. Here we go with Sky News. It says, if I can get past the advertisement, read the emails. E-safety commissioner Julie Inman Grant linked to a plot to sideline Trump faces Senate order to reveal emails. Leaked emails reveal e-safety commissioner Julia Grant was linked to censorship sideline while working at Albanese government. This is just repeating the same thing for the third time. Here we go. The trove of emails released in a House Judiciary Committee investigation detail efforts by activist group, the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, or GARM, to limit the reach and influence of President Trump in 2022. Wow. Weird. Almost like there's a Illuminati or global cabal working to stop things that they don't want to see happen. Well, that's curious. That's very curious. Miss Grant, who was paid $457,000. Holy shit. In 2024, was acting in her capacity as the independent bureaucrat for the Albanese government when she sent the emails from her e-safety work account. She was appointed as e-safety commissioner in 2016. Wow, wasn't that the same year that Donald Trump got elected? That's strange. Very strange. Last night, the Australian Senate demanded Ms. Grant release any further emails between her and GARM as pressure builds on the bureaucrat to face a parliamentary probe. On November 9th, 2022, at the time of the U.S. midterm election, Ms. Grant emailed GARM initiative lead Rob Rakowitz, praising his organization for its proactive approach, saying, "I believe GARM has significant collective power in helping to hold the platforms to account." She also wrote, "How about this election? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark." Right here. Wow. Mr. Rakowitz responded a few hours later saying brand safety has nothing to do with controlling freedom of speech and that he was getting tired of the false debates. They agreed to connect digitally and in person. "Rob, it's getting late here, so I will take a look tomorrow and I will keep it confidential. We'll suggest a few times when we might connect, but open to discussing vectors for mutual support." I mean, the way that she's writing right now is super sus. You don't talk like this unless you're trying to get something passed and hide things. Open to discussing vectors for mutual support? Bro, like read between the lines with that. Holy shit. Later that day, this is insane. Later that day, Mr. Rakowitz wrote to Ms. Grant saying, "I need to be spending more time with you." And then the conversation turned to U.S. President Donald Trump. "I need to spend more time with you. Oh, and election results. My main thing is I need to see Trump and denials effectively sidelined, but I am afraid the contagion is too widespread to protect infection overall." They think they're being so coy when they talk. "I have little faith in either part establishments, and I say this as a first-generation American who is a refugee from anti-Jewish persecution in pre-state Israel and Iraq." Despite the activists plotting ways to censor President Trump, Ms. Grant continued to engage, saying, "America is not the country of promise I grew up in or left 22 years ago." This is a hardcore activist wacko pushing an agenda here. Wow. Wow. "That must be soul destroying, Rob," she wrote. "I worked in the 102nd Congress at the time when members worked across parties on issues of mutual concern. America is not the country of promise I grew up in or left 22 years ago. It makes me sad to see societal polarization and deterioration on so many fronts." The hell is she talking about? I've never seen a more unified America in my lifetime. We are exposing the freaks, the liars, the panderers, the grifters. It is glorious. Every day that goes by right now feels like we're returning to actual Americana. It's great. And frankly, the violence that permeates discourse in the name of free speech, not to mention the more obvious Second Amendment. And at the end here, you can see move to Australia. Okay. Ms. Grant also told the American censorship cartel that Elon Musk's decision to restructure X in 2022 was a total Twitter meltdown. Amazing what can happen in just a few days. Talk about a total Twitter meltdown. It makes me so sad for the company I really love working for and my former colleagues, she wrote, as news of the sackings emerged. Oh my God. And she was making $500,000 after she left. Your line of questioning is broadly consistent with the concerns I raised in my letter, and I imagine you gleaned more following the Space's call to the advertising community. You have some very powerful levers at your disposal. Again, talking with codes. We would be grateful if GARM can keep us updated on how Twitter responds and share any information so we can take into account in our engagement and regulatory decisions. I'm on my way to DC tomorrow and I'm looping in who is on point for these issues on my team. It will certainly be fascinating to watch this all unfold. This is insane. Oh my God. That day, the New York Times had just reported that Mr. Musk was preparing for widespread layoffs. Last night, the Senate approved an order to see any additional communication documents between E-Safety Commissioner Julie Inman Grant and the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, GARM, which, by the way, that name is so sus. Global Alliance for Responsible Media. Press X to doubt that one, guys. The Senate has voted in favor of my order for protection of documents relating to communications between the Office of E-Safety Commissioner and the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, Senator Antic said in a statement posted on X Wednesday afternoon. It comes nearly a month after Ms. Inman narrowly avoided the scrutiny of Senate inquiry when the upper house voted down a motion for a probe to be launched into her actions. Holy shnikes. Read the report and the emails in the House Judiciary Committee's report. This is insane. Let's see what people are saying about it. Holy. A classic example of the left thinking that their view is the only view. I hate to say that I was going to say something very similar, but like literally that was my mindset going through all this. It's like they can't step outside themselves to realize that there's another angle to any of this. They're so self-absorbed with their own mentality. It's like selfishness, ignorance to reality. I don't know what the word is you want to use for it, but every time. And when they get called out, they fight back with projection and use defense cards like LGBTQ and you're not allowed to talk to me like that because I'm a marginalized person. Like none of this shit works anymore. I, for one, have stopped listening to anything this government has to say, and it's sad considering Australia is a Western democracy. It's only going to get worse. This one down here. So political and left activism was part of the E-Commissioner's job description? ... Really? Oh, here we go. We got Comrade here. Comrade Albilar promised open and transparent government. Still waiting, Comrade. Just like we're still waiting for our $275 power bill reduction. Still waiting, Comrade Supreme Leader. I have a feeling that this story is going to expose everything that we've been talking about when it comes to the behind the scenes connections, especially when it comes to Australia and their GARM limiting what people are allowed to showcase. This is insane. Savvy continues. She says, this is massive news, tags Asmongold. Might be interested because he too saw some of the connections. This relates to Collective Shout. I'm still being attacked by them, he. And said, holy shit, this doesn't even feel real. How can people plot like this? Shaping regulation around Twitter and GARM actions? And there might be more communications? Tags Elon Musk. Guys, I guarantee you Elon Musk responds to her here. I'm sure Asmongold's going to cover this as well. This is a very big story. It exposes quite a bit. And like I said, I feel like this is, as usual, just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the behind the scenes actions of these activist groups and how they work together to silence opposition and then portray themselves as the victims. Just wait for it, because that's the next step. They got caught. Now it's the victim. They got to pull the victim card immediately. I'll follow up on this as soon as we have any updates on it. But for now, I will leave that one there. Shout out to Savvy for the legendary coverage on that. Because holy shit, that was a banger one. Damn.